So politics are very heavily in Star Wars. Let's talk about that. Before we continue this video, I just want to state a couple things. So this is not any kind of bias. I'm going to be looking at what political views are expressed in Star Wars, and I'm not going to give a Republican or Democratic view. I'm just going to give an overall take on this matter in Star Wars. And on that same note, I'm not going to be attacking that politics are in Star Wars to begin with. I'm just going to be kind of looking at what politics are being expressed in Star Wars and looking how that could be disrupting the fandom. And this video has been inspired by a lot of this talk in the fandom of like Star Wars is changing too much, there's politics in Star Wars. That's mainly what this video is inspired about. No one specific person inspired this video, but I did get my little inspiration for this video watching Dave Lee's Down Under's video talking about the boycott of Star Wars and how politics might be affecting that a little bit. And third of all, these are my personal opinions. As you see, I am a kid, so this is a kid's opinion on politics in Star Wars. Nowadays, I feel that when coming to talking about Star Wars, it's mainly driven by adults talking about Star Wars, and kids don't really get that say, so I really want to be that kid who talks about the greater picture of Star Wars. It's no secret that The Last Jedi and Solo Star Wars stories has some current heavy-day politics in it. Is that good? Well, let's get into that. I think politics are a very important thing, and I think they should be discussed, and I think younger kids should start discussing them. I personally have a very big love for politics, and I am thinking about majoring in political science when I get to college. I think it is good that a mainstream media fandom like Star Wars is showing politics so it can wow up discussion, but at the same time, the politics that are being shared are a little bit on the Democratic side and can split the fandom in half, which we have seen it do. I'm not saying that having Democratic views in the movie is a bad thing, I'm just saying that that kind of puts a hard line right in the middle for people to argue about. And if you flip it around and put conservative views in Star Wars, it would still be the same thing. Two sides arguing over the movie and with the politics being shared in the film. And what I'm saying is nothing new. People discussing politics happens every day. But that's what the news is for. That's what MSNBC is for. That's what Fox News is for. That's what the news is for. Not in a galaxy far, far away. That's what the main thing is. That the fact that they're so current day politics. These are 2017, 2018 politics that would not be happening a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And this is going to be really weird that I'm using the prequels as a good example, but the prequels do politics and they're stale and boring as heck, and I'm not nearly comparing that saying Last Jedi is worse than the prequels or Solo is worse than prequels. I'm saying that the politics are very different and work for that movie. Prequels politics are a different kind of politics. They're trade routes, they're taxing. It's more of old school politics and old school discussions, where these new politics are very heavily blamed in 2017, 2018, which kind of splits that divide of modern day stuff in a galaxy far, far away. Now that I kind of stated what the politics are, now let's get into my opinions how I feel about the politics being shared in these movies. My overall take is that it's fine for politics to be in the Star Wars movie, but it's so heavy-handed. It's becoming these things where it's no longer 2018 politics weaved into Star Wars, it's 2018 politics being a front stage of Star Wars. I think the biggest representation of this is L3 in Solo, A Star Wars Story. That character is a social justice warrior to a T, which is fine, but it feels like here's this long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, with this so current embodiment of a person. And the funny thing with L3, I was at a panel at WonderCon a couple years back, and they were talking about were droids slaves and the kind of discussion that basically L3 was embodying. The difference between that and L3, these are fans discussing some topics in a current day thing about 2018. The fact that L3 is so embodying these fans' discussion on the internet, it's almost like the creators of Star Wars, and especially Kathleen Kennedy, are looking what's the general topic and how do we put it in the movies. That's fine to put modern day issues and discussions in mainstream pop culture movies. Take a look at an example of Black Panther. They talk about many, many social issues, but it's weaving it into the plot and it's taking place in current day. Something that I kind of came up with L3's character is L3 doesn't feel like a character. She feels like a group of hashtags built into a character. That's totally fine, but not in this world of Star Wars. I've been going on for a while, so my general synopsis is, are politics fine in movies? Absolutely. Are politics fine in Star Wars? Yes. Are blatant politics in modern day fine in Star Wars? One more thing, I know the politics in Star Wars are Democratic views, but even if they were Republican views, I would still be saying the same thing. It's fine to have both Democratic and Republican views, but don't have them be so blatantly pushed in Star Wars movies. I think most Star Wars fans like myself, especially being a kid, would just wish if politics really weren't in Star Wars so we could just sit down and watch a galaxy far, far away. But on the other hand, it's fun to hear little political reference in these fantasy wars if they're small references. Have these political views be a Stan Lee cameo, not the main third act. Hey, wow, that was a lot to talk about. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys just understand that I'm not attacking any political views. I'm simply trying to keep this as nonpartisan as possible. And please, if you have any views at all about these politics in Star Wars, please let them in the comments. I want to have a big discussion about these political views in Star Wars. And if you like this discussion and you like that me being a kid talking about this, you thought this was fun, please, I encourage you to share this video. Let's talk about this more often, but in a civil way. That's all I got for you today, guys. May the Force be with you.